Drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Hello and welcome to Edupedia World. So we'll now start creating the wings. And if you take a look at these wings, you'll be able to see that they have very sharp edges and there are really no kind of curvature in them. Therefore, we won't be doing any subdivision for the wings. You can see right here, some guy have made them and they are completely sharp. A little bit weird in my opinion, but that's how they look. Even in this very cinematic image, you see they are very, very sharp. Therefore, we won't be doing any subdivision for these wings. So the thing to note is the way that they've been connected to the body. So what that tells us to do is actually cut a hole into this body right around here. And I didn't do this on my the training for this series. I actually don't know if I will do it here either. I think I'll just connect these the way they've been connected here, but I won't do like the hole into the body. So we want to keep in mind that the top of the wing is like there are no holes, and the bottom of the wing there is a hole. And you can see the wing through the holes, and also there's this large hole over here where you can see the motor going through, and then this part that's holding the motor in place, and there are also some pipes and stuff that connect to the motor. So you can see the wing is pretty thick over here, and it's thick all the way over here, and then it's going in. So let's take a look at how we can create this shape. In my opinion, it's a great idea to start off with a cube. Let's do that. Place the cube here. Press C, Ctrl-A-T, scale, move. Let's see, so the box that we are looking at stops right here, but then the wing comes out a little bit in the bottom right here. And that's also what we're seeing here, so let's make this box first of all. Has these dimensions. And I'll go back to this other view. You can see this a little bit better. So I will be doing quite a lot of eyeballing for this part, and also be doing it not very quickly, but pretty quickly. Here, if you wanted to, you could cut out these two pictures and put them as your front in the front window right here if you wanted to. But I think this is alright. If you look at it from the top, you can see we will have a cut right there, and this will then go down. Not this much, and we will move this up. You can take a look at this hole. So from the top it looks like this, and then from the bottom we need a hole into it. The shape doesn't look that complex, but there are still quite a lot of things to this wing. It's not just this extremely simple plane. I think I'll make a cut right here, and I will go back, select these two faces and extrude them back. Select these two faces, move them out here, only select this face and move it in like that. Now this wing is really starting to take shape. Of course, we haven't got all these details just yet, but they are going to be coming in the near future. We need to create this hole, and I'd like to see how it looks from the back. So you see there's the hole, and then it's not open in any of these ends, so that's great. And it is actually open to this side over here. And again, I'm experiencing that these reference images are different, because this has this part that sticks out, and if you look at this, it doesn't. Maybe no, it's not. It doesn't have it, and this image has it. So the hole is going to be here. I'm going to press I, Control, drag upwards. I'm actually just going to use the loop tool to create these cuts, and this cut right around here. Drag up, delete, 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 and I will hide the body for now. I'll select this line, copy the Y position, and paste it right there. Optimize, and hopefully this is valid, and it is. There we go. We can unhide that, and our wing is starting to look quite alright in my opinion. I'll go to the front view and actually make it a little bit thinner. And then I will start to create these holes. So these holes are a little bit special. As you can see, it's like a hole where you can look into the wing, and you can see that it's like the wing is like hollow, and you can see the parts inside. So we need to make this wing hollow in some way. This is where I'm not going to be 100% accurate to the model. So the rear, so I'll make a cut there and a cut right around here, and I'll take these points and scale them like this a little bit, and then this is going to be my two holes. And I'll use this close polygon feature. It wasn't really necessary, I could just have done it properly. And then to make this look like it's hollow, I will do like this. Put this to something like 100. And then extrude out. And if you look at it from this side, you need to just make a loop cut, because otherwise it doesn't really look hollow. Like 60% cut, 60% cut, there we go. And then we want to select this part. We don't want like the inset, empty, and extrude this out. And there we go. Now this wing looks hollow. We can make a few boxes and stick them in there if we want to. I like to just see what geometry I've got to work with. Can do some pretty quick stuff here. Move these points around. And as you can see, we can start creating these kinds of shapes in the wing. I will leave that for when we're going to be adding the details. So here in the end of the wing, you may have noticed that there is this little part that sticks out like this. And then on a lot of the reference images, I've seen the same thing here in the rear. So we will have that on our model as well. Just for rendering purposes, I will add ambient occlusion, and when we render, we should be able to see a little bit more detail. There you go, now I can see the holes much better. So on the front right here, so if we inset this and move out a little bit, you see they have this little part here at the front that's pushed out. Maybe to be completely correct, we need to I see I've made a small mistake right here. I need to connect this. And if I do like this, I'm going to be able to cut all the way around. As you can see, this moves to the middle of this part. So I'll make this pretty low. Or I'll just select all of this, inset, and then move it in place somewhere around here. Extrude out. Not there. And this is the wing, looking all right. Okay, so what makes this wing interesting is adding all the details, and especially adding the motors. So the motors is going to be the next part. The motors, they sit halfway into the wing from the top right here. That means we're going to have to cut all this out. And we start off with this cylinder. Just start off by placing it on the wing. And this sits quite like in the picture right here. We now want to create the motor, so I'm going to start off by creating this upper part of the motor. You can see we've got this cylinder that has like an extruded part, and we're going to create that. So I'll turn this back to wireframe, and I'll work with something a little bit more manageable, like 24 sides. So how do we do this? We want to first get our cube, make it editable, and then creating this kind of half circle is a little bit tricky. We first want to optimize the cube so that everything sticks together. Before I do anything, I'll take this cube and duplicate it, and just hide the duplicate. That's going to be useful later. So I will start in here, extrude, and push this in. And that you can already see why this cylinder is useful, because we're going to be using it with a boolean, bool, add the cube, and add the hidden cylinder. And there we go. Now this is cut out so we can see what's going on. Side change, you can see this is cut out. That way we can also see our motor in here. So this is all nice. We want this part up here to be extruded out. And we also want, that's how I made it on my model, we want the part up here also to be pushed out. I'll show you. I don't think that on the real models they are like pushed out, but it looks very nice, so I'll do it as well. So we will extrude the top out like this, maybe not that far, maybe something like this. And then we will select these polygons. I'll extrude them forwards like that. And this looks nice. We will now need to create these kinds of half circle details. Before we do this, I'd like to add this into a subdivision surface. I'd like to add all the loops needed. So if we insert, extrude out, insert, extrude out, insert, extrude out, we can create the weird pattern that's in the middle. but we won't be creating it in here. I'll just do like this to make sure that the pipe in here is straight. Then I will cut right here, I'll cut right here, cut right here. Let's see what this looks like. Looks alright. Also cut out here, and I'll cut here, I'll cut there, and also cut here and there. I will hide this, and I will press 9, select all of this, I drag in and delete, and then I'll use the bridge tool to basically bridge all these edges together. I'll take the line tool and cut from here to there, and select all the edges in the middle, T, scale them together, right click, dissolve, and now we can create the cut that we want, that goes in a loop around here. And then we also want a loop going around here in the end. And we'll actually also want a loop going here. And there we go, this shape now looks like we want it. Now we want this red band and these grills to be added. And yeah, we'll need to figure out a smart way of creating these grills. In my opinion, one of the greatest ways is by using another cylinder. Turning the segments up to something like 150. And the radius doesn't really matter right now. I will press C. And this, I think 150 is actually a little bit too little. 220. Press C, go all the way around, delete, all the way around, delete, and we can still change the size of our cylinder uniformly. So delete all of this, T scale. And there we go. So to turn this into a grill, we will need to do something smart to create all these small extends. So if you do like this, right click and do something like a matrix extrude. We only have one step, and we don't rotate, and well, we change this to be something a lot less like this. Turn this up to 100. Turn this up to 100. Turn this up to 100. Could then start changing this around, so this will have to stay at 100. This we may be able to, yeah, this is the one we want to change to something like this. And we can then dial in this part. And there we go. As you can see right now, these sit just beneath the surface, and we can go into our shape to the front view and delete all of this here at the bottom. There we go. We've now got this grill. I can call it like grill or heat sink. I don't know what we would call it. They're very easy to use. You can change the size of them if you want. You can move them around, and you can use them on basically any cylindrical shape. If you render, this is what you get. They look pretty nice. And if you reveal this part, you see that it's starting to look kind of like this picture. Another thing we need to do is to create the red part. So what I will do is that I will duplicate this heatsink and call it red part, and then I will go in here, double click, and actually just select the boundary edge all the way around here. Press 0 and just deselect everything except this edge right here. Extrude it out and select this part out here, UI delete, and I'll move this back. Oh, I made a mistake. There we go, delete. And now we'll extrude this out like this, and I'll scale it in a little bit like that. And if I move this into position, we can get this nice band that we want. And we can change the size and the position, of course. The red pen has to be out here, and then this heatsink close to it, and this other heatsink further back, and we need to make it a little bit shorter and maybe just make this a little bit longer. I want this to be a little bit longer, therefore I'm going to make it longer. Maybe it's not perfectly correct to the model, but that's how I want it. There we go. We now want to create the shape inside of this motor. So to do that, let's see, we can actually use this. So split and move this out. Do like this. Go in here, we just need to remove these 4 edges. That's all. Here you need to be pretty precise. I'm just going to eyeball this. You can of course also always go in and refine it, and it's not going to be that visible if you not make it perfect. Trying to find the feature called collapse. Why can't I collapse this? Do I need the points or something? I don't. Connect points. Nope. Well, we can just do like this. Just 0, and then go in here and weld, and this is going to be 1 point. So what I can do is that if I think I've been a little bit imprecise, I can go in here and start moving this around a little bit. But I think it's nice. I'll take the whole shape and stretch it out a little bit, and then I'll go in with the loop tool, select all of this, and subdivide it. And there we go, we've got our shape. place this here. And now we'll just need a cube. Make this a little bit thinner. And there we go. I won't add the vertical plane, I don't care. So if we now show the body with this, it should look pretty alright. Well, I should take, so this is the body, and well, I should take all of this and scale it up just a little bit. Just scale it up like this. Just find the right size, and then I will take, this is a little bit, this is fine actually, and then I will take everything that has to do with the motor. So this, and this, or actually not this, and not this, and then I will make it a little bit smaller. Right here. There we go. So this is one wing done, and go back to isoline display. What we need to do next is just add all the details and add the rest of the motor, and this should be done. So we only need to create one motor, and that's of course because we can reuse everything else. So this, I'll put this into a null and call this wing, put this into a null, and call it body. And we can create a, if we take the wing, create a symmetry modifier here in the middle, put the wing a little bit up, a little bit over here. We put the wing in the symmetry, and we take a new symmetry put the symmetry in that symmetry and change the symmetry to this. Then we will be able to get all 4 wings. Just give these like 10 degrees, and we've got a pretty nice X-wing so far. So in the next couple of videos we will be adding the rest of the details to this model, and we'll then start doing all the texturing and stuff. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Thank you for watching Edupedia World. Stay tuned for more videos.